Okay, so this is a video on how to wire up twins. First thing you're going to need to know or pick is your power system, but you should already know that because it depends on the size of your airplane. But what I normally use is the Textronic 24-gram Blue Wonder motors. You can buy these almost anywhere. I just use them because, well, they're awesome. And I use them in almost all my builds for light to medium-sized park flyers. Then you're going to need two matching ESCs for those. Well, since these motors pull about 8 amps at the max, I use these Thunderbird 9 ESCs. You can use bigger ESCs. I just use these because they're light, they're lightweight, they're pretty small. You can also use other ESCs too. It doesn't have to be those for twins or anything in general. I use these mystery 12 amp ESCs too. I think these are maybe a little better because they don't reset their endpoints and stuff. But the reason why I use these more often is because I get them wet. And when I get them wet, most ESCs will catch on fire. But these just shut off and they just stop working, rather than bursting into flames and making me go buy new ones. Alright. The first kind of twin we're going to do is just a regular twin, you know, with 2 engines, no differential throttle, nothing fancy. So what you're going to need to do is take your 2 ESCs, like these, and you're going to put them together. I'm just going to grab 2 random ESCs around here. On the ESCs, where the battery goes, you just take your 2 red wires, and you solder them together, and you solder your connector to that. Make sure you get a connector that can handle the amp draw that your motors will pull. So I use JSTs on these and EC3s. The JSTs I use for low amp applications where I'm not going to fly with full throttle all the time. But I use the EC3s for all my other batteries from 1,300 to and up. So once you get that soldered, you're going to take your 2 ESCs and you're going to plug them into your motors. It doesn't matter which ESCs go to what motor, we'll sort that out later, just plug them in there. Alright, now to do regular twin, you're just going to need one Y cable. If I can find one around here. You're going to take the Y cable and you're going to plug that into your throttle channel on your receiver. Like so. Right. And then you're going to take those 2 leads that come from the Y cable and plug your ESCs into those. Oh, another thing with the BEC on the ESCs, some people say that if you plug them to your receiver, they'll blow up all and stuff like that. Well, that's not true because I've plugged these in before and that's never happened. I've done that with other cheaper ESCs too, but that's not recommended unless the manufacturer says you can unless you can parallel the BECs. I wouldn't do it. But I have paralleled the BECs with these mystery 12 amps and I've never had a single problem with these. Other ESCs such as like the Electrify Silver Series, I've had weird problems with those. Like those run up full throttle and try to cut me and stuff. So it really depends on the ESC. So just to be safe, in case you don't really need to pull, double the amp draw from your servos, even though I don't think you really do get double the amp draw, it's more like 1.5 over. You're gonna lift the red wire out of one of these on one of the ESCs. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Just take if I can find a box cutter right here. Just take your hobby knife. Just pry up on the black connector shell on the red wire, and then you're gonna pull that out. Like that. And you get that. On these Thunderbird 9s, the manufacturer says you can parallel these BECs, so you don't need to do this if you're using Thunderbird 9s or any Castle brand ESCs. Alright, let me plug that back in there because I'm just going to leave them like that because I don't have a problem with these. Screw it, I'll do it later. Alright, now you can take your 2 ESCs and plug those into your Y cables, or Y harness, whatever you want to call it. And that's pretty much all you need to do. Now just turn on your transmitter and plug your battery in. And fire the motors up. And see that works. Oh, another thing. When picking your batteries, you need to figure out how many amps your motor draws. Since the blue monitors draw about 8 amps at max, you're gonna need a battery capable of delivering 16 amps because, well, there's 2 motors. And I'm using 1 battery. So I use this Turnigy 1000 mAh 20C battery, which gives me a 20 amp discharge. Alright, use that. Alright, now we're gonna do, what can I turn next? Oh yeah, differential throttle. Alright, I have some VTEL mixers around here, some good, some not so good, some suck really bad. And there's all over this table. Where'd they go? Oh, there they are, okay. The first one, the FMA Direct VTEL mixer, this did not work for me at all. It didn't work from when I bought it, it just kind of sat there and made clicking noises with my ESC, so I couldn't even get to work normal servo, so this is just junk. The Max Products VTEL mixer, it looks just like the GDUS VTEL mixer, except it's got this blue shrink wrap on it. This worked for a little bit, and then one day it decided to stop working, so I don't like that. And the newer updated GDUS VTEL mixer, it's got like this gold shrinky wrapper or whatever on it. That one kind of works sometimes, but it doesn't work all the time. Some days it just doesn't arm and it's really weird. But the only ones I've never had a problem with is the original GDUS VTEL mixers. The one with the black shrink wrap. I like these, but this one broke again though. The wire came off the board, so I'm going to have to resolder that. So I'll be using this newer updated GDUS VTEL mixer to make this one work. Alright, first thing you need to do is, if your twin has a rudder on it, then you're going to need to get a Y cable and plug that into the rudder channel of the receiver. Take one end of the Y cable and plug that into the servo that controls rudder on your airplane, like so. And you take one other end of the Y cable that is plugged into the rudder channel of your receiver and plug that into the aileron channel of the VTEL mixer. This may also say rudder too. It'll either say aileron or rudder. And you plug that in there. If you're using like the GDUS VTEL mixers where nothing's labeled, it didn't say anything, you just have to plug and guess and check. If you do get it wrong, most likely when you fire this up, only one motor will spin. So that means you just take these 2 wires that go into your receiver and switch them out between throttle and rudder. And to throttle and rudder to throttle. So you just gotta play with these, since they're not marked. Alright, so once you plug your VTEL mixer into the rudder channel that goes into the Y cable, you're going to take the other end that says elevator and plug that into the throttle channel of your receiver. Now, you're going to take your 2 ESCs, what was it to plug? I don't know, whatever you plug in your receiver, I forgot what they're called now. Alright, you're just going to plug those into the VTEL mixer in no particular order. We'll figure out which way they go later. Make sure you get the signal wires correct on these. Now you turn your transmitter and plug it in. Alright. Now what you're going to do is check the rudder movement first. Ignore the motors, don't worry about those. Just move your rudder. Make sure it's correct. Make sure it moves the same way as your transmitter. So I'm going left. Now you can see the left motor is running up, and this would not work if I was trying to fly this airplane, because when I move the rudder to the left, you can see here, that this motor is going to be pulling the airplane to the right. So to fix that, you simply either take the 2 the ESCs, where they plug into your motors, and you just switch them around from one side of the aircraft to the other. Or what I like to do is just reverse them on the VTEL mixer. Just unplug your battery first, most of all. Unplug those 2 VTEL mixers or the ESCs and switch them around on the other ends of the VTEL mixer. Plug it back in. Now, when you move the rotor to the left, you can see the rotor's moved to the left, and the right motor's pulling, so it means the airplane goes that way. And when you advance the throttle forward, you can see both motors spinning. And that's pretty much how you wire up the differential throttle twin. Now, if you wanted to do more motors than 4, 5, 6, 10, I don't know, a million freaking motors if you want, and all you do is you take where the VTOL mixer comes out, you just put a Y cable in here and plug, I don't know, as many ESCs on there as you want for each side. I'll put a diagram in the video because it's kind of hard to explain. Alright, let's see. What other twin should I cover, or what else should I say? Oh yeah, okay. Using separate batteries. I don't recommend doing this. A lot of other people don't recommend doing it either, because if each ESC is not wired together like this in a Y cable, and use one battery on each side of the airplane, since you're flying around, you usually fly around in a circle, right? So one side's always going to be pulling more than the other, because I do coordinated turns, where I speed up one motor and slow the other one down. One side will hit LVC before the other, and that will give me some weird yaw effects when I try to land this stupid airplane, and most likely result in a crash. But if you do want to use two batteries, you want to put this in the Y harness and plug them into each, and plug them into the ESCs that are already wide like this. I'll put a diagram in the video too, because this is difficult to explain also. And I'm not going to do it because, well, I don't have two batteries that need to be done. You can buy these for like nothing. They're like $6 or $8 off Hobby King. Alright, what else? Let's see anything. What else needs to be covered? Okay, yeah, the battery leads too. Another thing on the twins, since, you know, motors are spaced out in the wings and stuff, what you want to try to do is keep the battery leads under 10 inches, because over time this can kill an ESC. I don't know why it does this. I'll link the discussion to RC groups on this video too, explaining that. But if the leads you want to extend are the ones from the motor to ESC. You can make those about as long as you want, I think. There's people said that's the one I see lengthened all the time. You want to keep the battery to ESC leads under 10 inches. I run them to 12 or 13 or more, but I haven't had a problem yet, but it will kill them over time, so I still have to see when they'll die. Okay, what else? Okay, well, that concludes my video on how to wire up twins. If you got any questions, just leave them in the comments section of the video. And rate it, thumbs up, whatever, I don't care. Just hope you enjoy the video and learn something.